Are you feeling peppy today, Mr. U?
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if you would ever call me peppy in general. But I'm excited to see how these next callers do. I thought the first time we did it was good. So
Yeah, the second time.
to me, I'm excited about talking to people and seeing what they do with it, and then if they come back
Right.
for 4 to 6 months to see what they do. So
Yeah, 100%, because that's really what it comes down to. The pep talk is just to get you on the right track, but really it's what did you take out of the talk, and really it should be about discipline, and commitment, consistency. Like those are the real words, not pep talk. So hopefully people get that out of it. I've gotten some good feedback, from when we talked and got with different people. So we'll see what happens with it. Just keep moving forward, bro. Yep. All right, so who's our caller today? Yo, Dan, what's up, brother?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Where are you calling out of, Dan?
Actually, I'm calling from Vancouver, Washington.
So, how did you come across this? So you follow us? Like, how did you come across looking for the pep talk?
So I've been following you and your career for the start of it. Way back when. But when you started doing the yoga and started doing the transformation of, I appreciate the wrestlers, but some of the other guys that you've worked with
Right.
amazes me. It really does. And it brought me some hope that I might be able to. About 6 years ago, I was 350 pounds. I was a big man. And with perseverance and diet and just, living the life, I'm down to 230 right now.
That's awesome.
And my goal is to get down to 200 because that's what when I got out of the military, that was my weight then. But I've had lots of struggles in life, and it beats me down, and I struggle with anxiety, depression kind of stuff.
So anytime I hear anything about anxiety to begin with, it's just so funny. I literally had a friend of mine who was an Olympic champion at one time in rowing, and he sent me this thing on, it's an audio book, Breath, the New Science of a Lost Art. And let's just start with that, because when you say anxiety, the first thing I do, and it took me a long time to get there, is breathe. And when I say breathe, I mean you can feel anxiety because you're feeling fine, life's going along the way you want it to, or semi the way you want it to, and then all of a sudden you start feeling anxious. And this thing comes over you. It does to me too, bro. It does to everybody. And it took me many, many years to really realize this, on how to get over it. It isn't, I'm just going to change my mind and I'm not going to be anxious. No, your body has to change its state. And you do that through your brain. And how you do is you take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath with me, bro. Hold it, and then just slowly breathe out. So when you tell me you deal with anxiety and stress, every single human being does. And COVID didn't help, so it just got even worse. And then inflation didn't help. And all these other things didn't really help. But you can help yourself by turning it on yourself. And my buddy said, I can't wait to get this audiobook. I haven't heard it yet, but I will talk about it after, because I'm sure I'm going to learn much more about our breath and how, I love how it says here, the new science of a lost art. Most people breathe like this. I mean, that's how they breathe. In half a second, out of half a second.
Well, Dan, tell us, sounds like you've done a lot to change your life and change your health. What are you still struggling with, you think? It seems like you're well on your way to getting to your goal.
So the biggest thing that I struggle with is the feeling of not mattering to people, or not mattering to, not being good enough, not that kind of. And I know it's on me, and I know it has to do with my childhood and that kind of thing, but it's hard to get motivated. It's hard to get know that you're appreciated. Let's put it that way.
I think everyone struggles with that. I mean, it seems like you've lost what? How much weight have you lost in the last couple of
Almost
years?
130 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, you must have had a psychological benefit from that, right? Gaining some confidence and feeling better about yourself.
Yes, I it actually does help. It also, I struggle. Some medical stuff have come up and stuff. I had a stroke. I had a heart attack. There's things that I needed to do to get my life back into normalcy, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Um, but since I've lost the weight, it's helped. I don't feel as tired. I don't feel as bogged down. But
Yeah.
because of I played semi-pro football. I was in the military. I've done a lot of things that were maybe not too bright, as we learn as young people, get older. And my body is broken down to the where, it's hard for me my mobility is bad, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I would say is if you're not part of our DDPY community on Facebook, I would suggest trying to connect there. I think sometimes when you get into a scenario where you don't feel like the people around you appreciate you, sometimes you have to find a circle of people that maybe do. And I think that if you isolate too much, it's hard to break out of that kind of depression and feeling like you're not appreciated. I think you'll find that in our group, it's just on Facebook, you just go to DDP Yoga.
DDP Yoga, one word.
Yeah, it's a group that has like almost 80,000 people, and you'll find other vets there. You'll be able to find other spin-off groups that have vets in there. And I think a lot of times that's the key, is to find people that kind of share your struggle, and then you'll find a connection. Because right now it seems like maybe you don't have a core group of people that are supporting you kind of emotionally. And sometimes you have to find that online. Like our group, our online community is probably one of the best communities that I've ever seen for that.
Without question, bro. And we also have Scotty Frenchie, who literally heads up our Warriors Purpose program, and he started a 501c to help veterans, and he has the Tiger Battalion, which is a lot of guys you would relate to, because they're all military cats there. And I would join both groups, because you would actually, there's a lot of synergy there, man. Community is everything. And we become the 5 people we hang out most with. And that can be really good, or that can be really bad. Or you could even go to the last thing where you don't hang out with anyone and you're isolating yourself. And that's the worst thing as human beings that we can do to ourselves.
I get that. I totally understand that. I'd like to join those groups. I actually just started my bachelor's program here at the college to get more involved with what I do for a living. And so just to get out and meet new people, get involved, kind of thing.
And let me ask you this too, bro. When you lost that weight, did you ever give yourself a self high five, a pat on the back? Did you ever give it to you?
Always. I always made sure that I gave myself rewards, if you want to call it that. I might have an ice cream sundae if once a blue moon, once I hit this, different markers of losing the weight and stuff like that. It's important to go to a movie, say hi, go get a hug from a loved one, the important stuff.
Okay, well, I think you're on the way to, no matter what, to getting to where you get to. I think that you do need the community around you. From what I see there, from what people post, and I created this a thing for the app, and I put it up on social media as well, but called Fabulous Friday. And I go to that page and I find people's stories, not ones I wrote, ones they wrote, and then I shared them with people as well. And if you get on the app, for our DDP Yoga app, the very first thing you're going to see when you go on the app, on our dashboard there, which is like sliding tiles, so you can just see some of the things like the latest cooking show or the latest workout or the latest Motivational Monday. But the very first thing you'll see is the list. And 7 days free to get on the damn thing to begin with. And if you put in, matter of fact, if you put in, you'll see veterans. So it's always half price for veterans with our program. So 7 days of it's free though. So you can try it and you can do the list in less than 7 days. If you go on and you do the program, bro, and you do the list, if you really apply yourself and really put your heart and soul in it, and you involve yourself with the community, it will help reboot your brain. And that's really what we're wanting to see more than anything, right?
100%. I will go down and check that out for sure. I'm trying everything I can to get myself back to being me again. So,
Yeah, I would seek out, Dan, if you're not in any veterans groups locally, I'm sure there are some. I think, one of the biggest things for vets is, for everybody, but vets probably especially, is feeling underappreciated for what you did. And so a lot of times you need to find people that share that so that you guys can kind of lift each other up, So I would really take action to surround yourself with more people that can lift you up as much as you can, because a lot of times you can't always do it yourself. You want to be able to, but once you surround yourself with the right people, it really can be a big game changer,
You really got, the physical hard part out of the way. You can drop another 30 pounds like that and, over a period of time with the right diet and the right mindset and the right, being active. How old are you now?
I turn 56 next month.
Okay. I'm going to be 69 in another 6 months. So, time is our biggest friend. Don't waste it, man. Be around people, get with people who you start to build that community, and you start to actually build friendships. Like when we do a thing here every year called the Summit, and when people come, they know each other offline, or I should say online. And then when they get here, it's like, seeing, oh my God, I've been talking to you for X amount of time, and now we actually get to see each other, hang out, and be a part of the program. So, like I say, get involved more, get yourself a good community, get on the app, and just do the list. If you decide to stick with it, great. If you don't, I don't care. 6 to 1/2 dozen the other to me. But every veteran, cop, fireman, first responder, it's always half price at ddpyoga.com. Always. I went to Iraq 3 times and Afghanistan once for 13-day tours at a time to give back to you guys, because I appreciate you. So does Steve, and so does our entire team here. And we've got some veterans working with us. So
That's wonderful. I wish I lived down in your part of the neighborhood. I'd come in and do a workout and stuff just to learn some of that stuff. I've never tried actually yoga. It's one of the things
this ain't your mama's yoga, bro. This is made for you.
Yeah, if you go online and get on the community, there's probably some people. Are you close to Seattle? How far are you away from that area? Seattle, Portland area?
Well, I'm in Portland, just barely Portland, Oregon. Seattle's about 350 miles, something like that.
Yeah, we got a lot of community members up in that area. I know Murph lives there, and so does Scott. So
are you serious?
Yeah,
both of them?
They both live in Portland. So,
that's crazy.
That's the thing is you really can connect with people that are on the same journey. We'd love to see what steps you take, and then we'd love to hear back from you on what you were able to do with what kind of we talked about. I do think that the key is for you to surround yourself with the right people. If you haven't seen Scotty Riggs' story on our YouTube channel, I mean, he completely changed his life at 56. He was living out of his car and just waiting to die. And his life is completely different in a year later. So you got to have belief that if you're not in the spot that you want to be, it sounds like you're working on yourself anyway, but you can really change everything very quickly. You just got to focus on it.
Like, it's insane how much difference a year can make. Like, wow, I never dreamed I'd ever be in this position. So 100%. You've already done that first part. So let's follow the yellow brick road, bro. That's what I call the list. Follow the yellow brick road and be open to the change that comes with it, because you got to make it. You got to make it. And if you do, then it turns into something else, and it turns into something else, and then it turns into a whole new attitude. And when you're on there, like I said, like Murph and Scott, you know, they're both active, and they read. A lot of people read stuff. So put your story out there. Talk about being a veteran. Talk about, you know, isolation in yourself. Talk about how you've already lost this weight, but here's what you're looking for, and see how many people like it and comment on it or whatever. Like I said, try the Tiger Battalion as well. And Scotty, just look him up, and he'll be more than happy to reach out to you, brother. Trust me.
100%. I will do that tomorrow for sure.
All right, bro. Have a great day, man. Hopefully we'll talk to you in like 3 or 4 months and see where it went.
Wow. I would appreciate that too. Sounds great, bud.
All right, buddy. Have a great day, man.
Guys.
Andrew.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
I think I saw a post of yours recently, Andrew. Like, you know, we're doing this format where we have people call in who are looking for encouragement, but we also like to bring people on who have already accomplished a lot of, you know, got a lot of success through DDPY. You want to tell us a little bit about your story?
Well, thank you so much. Dallas, I don't know how do I call you Your Excellency or DDP? Or how does this?
The Grand Poobah. The Grand Poobah. No, Dallas, DDP, whatever works for you. Diamond, whatever works for you, bro.
There you go. Great to see you too, Steve. Thank you so much. First, I just need to thank you both for everything you do. This program has been a lifesaver for so many people, and it's completely turned my health around, my mental health. It's been such a game changer for me, and I don't think there's enough words to express gratitude from the DDPY community on how much you both mean to everybody for all the work that you do. So thank you so much for that.
Andrew, let me interject here, because you said the community, and we were just talking to this gentleman named Dan about going on and getting with the DDP Yoga, one word, not two, one word Facebook page, because of the community. When you first, how did you hear about the community?
I think it was you who actually had talked about it in terms of the Facebook page,
right?
And going on to that member site, and that's where I kind of got linked up with that. But I think the power of community is evident even right back from Arthur's story and all the testimonials that you see. It just draws you in right away, and just sharing in each other's success and being able to celebrate that, it's huge and motivating and inspiring people just to keep going.
Well, tell us, Andrew, how far back does your story go? Like, when did you start, and where did you start at?
Sure. So I started the program back in 2019, and I heard about DDP Yoga from a friend. So I started doing it. Things were going pretty well. I had started losing some weight. I was feeling pretty good. And then we all know the pandemic hit in 2020. And a lot changed. I started working from home. Schools were closed, so my daughter was also home with me, and my whole routine got thrown off. I stopped working out, and I started making some really poor eating choices. I ended up getting up to about 253 pounds. So that was difficult. I started having some chest pains. I started having some difficulties breathing. Just moving around. I have a couple of different jobs. I have a family, and so just day to day, it was starting to get harder and harder to keep up the pace, keep my energy. And when that happens, your mental health starts to suffer too. And I was really unhappy with where I was. And then I just got back into watching some of the testimonials one day on YouTube, and it was just the kick in the pants, I guess, that I needed. And I was like, you know what, I got to get back into this. And so I started doing the workouts again. And today I'm down 55 pounds. I hit my goal of getting below 200 pounds. So I'm at 198 as of today. I was at 253 when I started. And so, physically my health is so much better than it was. But mentally, my mental health is so much better. Like I've got my energy level back up. I'm feeling really good about where I am. I'm not feeling as sad or angry about choices that I've made. I'm still struggling. I still have lots of things that I need to work on. One of the things that I still struggle with the most is the eating right piece of things. And I've tried some of the recipes on the app, and they're great. But meal planning is just something I've always struggled with. It's not something I'm great at, and that's the one piece where I really need to figure out how to do that, balance it with a really busy schedule and family life. And I haven't quite hit the nail on the head there yet, but hopefully
let me help you with that just a second. Did you ever do the list? That's on the app. The list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch those food documentaries?
No, I didn't. I'm in Canada, so when I went to do it, I couldn't find it right away, and I have not gone back to try and get them. So I still need to do that. So I'll have to
here's what I would say to you. You have to educate yourself so you know what you're eating. Like, there's nothing that, if I don't know a brand that I'm picking up, first thing I'm going to look at is at the ingredients. And if I can't say the word because I can't sound it out, maybe I shouldn't eat that. And then I go way deeper than that because I beat up my body. I'm still a Ferrari. It's close to 69, but I got 998,000 miles on me. So I have to really be conscious of what I put in my body and what foods cause inflammation. If you watch those documentaries, you'll see what the food really is. And our food in this country sucks. It sucks. So that's what's going to, you want to talk about getting even, like you've turned your life around through fitness and through workouts that help make you mobile, like our workout that actually gives you hope. But the food part is a humongous part as you get older, especially. So watch Food Inc., Genetic Roulette, and GMO, OMG. You watch just those three. And if you can still go back and eat that shit, then that's on you, But it's about making a decision and then being consistent. Like, I live it. But if Steve told me I'm going to die in the next 5 minutes, the first thing I would do is have Nadia run down to Krispy Kreme and get me a dozen glazed donuts. I'm going anyway. There's a missile on the way. I'm getting the donuts.
That's the first thing you think about is donuts?
Well, yes, because I'm going to die right there. I've not eaten them in forever because when I did, and after being clean for a while, going back, I'll just have a couple. My knees and my back felt like I got Big Show throwing me around from one side of the ring to the other for 3 days, okay? And I know what that feels like for 10 minutes. So I definitely don't want it for 3 days. It just beats the hell out of my body. The food. You couldn't pay me to eat that shit when I know that I'm alive and gonna be 69 and I'm still unstoppable. So the food. See any movie or any kind of interview with centurions, people who are close to 100 years old. They will tell you the food and exercise. That's what they'll tell you. That's why they're still here and they can still communicate and some of them are still driving. So, and not worried about it. Steve, how old's your dad?
93.
93. He still drive. Did he drive here last time?
I think he still does decent drives. Not as much, but yeah.
But that, all I'm saying is you really want that. That's the next spot. And as long as you tell yourself, I'm really not good at it, guess what? You're right. You'll never be good at it. You know what I am? I'm unstoppable at it. I picked a certain way to live, and I live it.
The other thing you might do, Andrew, is just, you get to a good place where you're feeling good about yourself. And sometimes you got to reset your expectations of what you want to achieve just to push you outside of the comfort zone of, you've gotten to where you've gotten to without having to meal prep as much. But sometimes you say, okay, what is my next goal? And that pushes you a little bit further. I would think about that. Also, there's a lot of good resources that we have in our community, like the Positively Unstoppable Challenge group does talk a lot about meal prepping. But there's other people you could probably connect with just to have an accountability buddy to meal prep and get some ideas. We're going to start doing some educational stuff video-wise that is around that type of thing. How do you get better at it? So, I think you need to get better at it. It's just what's going to push you to actually do it is the question, right?
And that's some great advice, Steve. Like, for sure. Like, what's your next goal? Where do you want to be? How old are you now, Andrew?
I just turned 40.
Okay, you're still a very young man, and it's all about what you do over the next 40 years is how you'll live the last 30 years. And it's about being ahead of it and preventative maintenance. Like, you've already made the gains, or I should say losses, and you feel the gains mentally and physically. Well, you're a young man. Like, I know back when you were 20, you didn't think 40 was young. It's young, isn't it? I mean, you feel young, don't you? I'm going to be 69, bro, and my wife doesn't even compute that. When we talk about, it's about age in general, because I don't talk like that, I don't think like that, I don't look like that. But it's because of my choices that I make. And it's making you the best you that you can be. So again, whatever that is, for me, it's here. And that's how I'm going to go out, leading by example.
Well, and a great example too, so thank you.
Anything else, Andrew, you struggle with, or you think you're on a good track?
I'm really happy with the progress that I've been making, and I feel like I'm in a really good spot, except for that eating thing. I definitely have some homework to take away from this, and some things that I need to start doing to maybe get to that next step and set that next goal. So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you trusting in myself and my crew here, my community that we have here, at DDP Yoga, and that you believed in us enough to give us a shot. And then out of it, you've done so well. And now it's like, how can you even be better? And that's something that I'm always searching for within myself. So great to meet you, brother. Proud of you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Great to meet both of you as well. I really appreciate it.
Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Do you realize, Mary, out of hundreds of people, the names were literally plucked because there was so many people, and names were plucked, and you were one of God, I guess 6 or 8 people that we picked so far to come in. And it's literally it's luck of the draw. So what are you going to do with your luck of the draw? You want to be inspired? You want to have a little pep talk? Tell us about yourself.
Oh my God. So last year, about this time, you did a cameo for Rufus.
For Rufus?
That I bought.
Right.
For his birthday.
Right. Is that your husband or boyfriend or friend?
But then he died.
Oh, God.
And you guys, not you guys, but you had asked me to be his accountability partner. And I stayed with him all the way through hospice. And
take a deep breath.
And then I kept going and trying to work on my fitness on my own. And then about a month ago, I would have told you that I would have had a good medical appointment because I had lost a lot of weight, because I was really working on stuff, and honestly, because I took Rufus's dog after he died, and I blew numbers in my blood tests that were just skyrocketed blood sugar. And I don't know if it was from stress or whatever, but it threw me into the diabetic range. And it was just, um, it's been a year. It's been a really, really tough year.
Take a deep breath, Barry. Take a deep breath. Hold it, and then slowly. You can control it. Come on.
Yeah.
Deep breath. So just so you know that throwing you into the diabetic spot of the numbers, it can also go the other way as well. And you can get you out of that spot. You know, unless you're born with it, meaning like that you have diabetes, and I have friends of mine who do, who even have like a little pump next to them that they have to pin on all the time. Like they never can get out of it. But people who end up in it because of weight gain or food or whatever the reason is, you can get out of that. So know that you can.
Okay.
So.
Well, Mary, take us back though. Like, do you remember the cameo for Rufus? I don't.
That was
No, I know, but so
he's done thousands, I'm sure.
I did a long one, didn't I? I did a long cameo for him, didn't I?
You did a great one. And I will tell you, especially as things went south, like he watched it constantly to try to motivate himself. Like he was fighting, but kind of what happened was he needed ankle surgery. And he was a big man, he was 6'6". And so the doctors wouldn't do it until he lost 60 pounds because they were afraid that they'd do the reconstructive surgery and then it would fail.
Right.
Just because of the weight that was involved.
Sure.
And in the meantime, while he was waiting, it created a vertical fracture in his tibia. And then eventually he started retaining fluid from the infection in the bone. And then he eventually went septic and then his kidneys shut down. And that's how you die at 51 from not taking care of your body.
Wow. Yeah, that's heavy.
Well, so Mary, were you his accountability partner for a while and doing great, and then that just turned things around?
So we had been really good friends for about 10 years. And I bought the cameo for his birthday last year, just as something fun, just because he worked as a football coach and he was always motivating other people, but I knew he had this medical thing that he was facing down, and I just thought it would be good for him to get some positivity and some motivation. And it worked. And I don't know why, but in that video you asked me to be his accountability partner. And I did. Like we sat down and we started, working on, how to eat better and how to support some of the health challenges I had too. And we went back and forth for probably about 4 months until he started going south this past January. And then by April, he was dead. By June, we had a funeral.
I'm so sorry for your loss. That's especially.
Yeah, it's been a tough year.
Let's go from a different angle. There's hundreds of people who, when we said, who wants a pep talk for DDP? Literally hundreds of people. You are one of so far 8. Okay, that was chosen.
Wow.
I didn't pick the name. Steve didn't pick the name. We went in and grabbed names, and I always say this, and because I'm a big God person. God picked your name, put you in our game, And so now, let's work on you, because I know Rufus would absolutely want you to work on you, especially out of that coming through the cameo that you got him, because you've got something much better than a cameo. You've got me and Steve, who I consider the hardest worker on the planet, the most creative, and really cares. Like, that's our whole team here. And we're very lucky to have people like that. So let's talk about you. What do you want?
So I have just tried to keep myself level this year. Um, and my fitness is really coming from behind. I had a pretty disastrous surgery, and I went into PT about 2 years ago to regain control of my right leg. So my goal back in September of last year was just to get to the point where I could walk like regularly, and I have done that partially because of this puppy that I ended up with, that I have to walk every
Well,
day.
that's a
And so I'm
good
walking
motivation.
either 3/4 of a mile or a mile and a half at the dog park to walk him, depending on whether or not I go around one time or two times. Um, and so it's just a matter now of trying to like kind of build on that, because now I'm mobile for the first time in years, really.
Again, just getting up and moving is a step, especially when you stop because you have an injury. Because when you have an injury, it causes scar tissue, and then people say, "Oh, well, I can't lift my arm past here anymore," and then I can't lift my arm past here anymore. I can't lift my like. The less you use it, the more you lose it. So that you're walking
Yeah,
is
it was 2 years of PT to get my leg back underneath me.
so. Did you ever try DDP yoga before?
I have in the past, and I would like to get back to it. Um, and I probably at this point, I've lost so much mobility that I would guess I'm probably at a chair or chair support,
Whatever it
because
is.
I don't have the ability to stand like I could.
You don't have
before.
to. That's all. The workouts start off in bed.
Yeah,
Like-
we also just released a PT program. It's a whole series that's physical therapy based. So, that might help you as well get stronger. So, there's a lot in there for you to that can help you get it back. I would say probably more than anything, you should join our community for support. If you're the person that needs the accountability buddy now, that's the best place to find it.
And there's people who really care on there. And you'll see this one girl named Mel Stivitt. Did I say your last time? Stavitt. And you might see a lot of times she's wearing a tutu. But how much weight is she down now?
I don't know.
Like a couple of 100 pounds. And then you might see Christy, who actually got a cameo from me for herself a couple of years ago, and is down 260 pounds now. And like I see her in the community all the time. I talk to her. Like, people like literally help each other. The more that the vulnerability is huge, because that makes people care. And
and I've been following your stuff for nutrition, and I am down 60 pounds.
That's
since
tremendous.
September of last year.
That's awesome.
That's tremendous.
So I shouldn't say I'm not doing it. It's just I haven't been engaging in the full workouts. I kind of had to start at nutrition because I wasn't mobile.
Well, you're mobile now, and you're mobile enough in bed. You're mobile enough sitting in a chair. Like, I've been working with Lex.
Okay.
I've been working with Lex Luger for the last 5 months, getting him trying to get out of the chair, which is because of nerve damage and his, when he went completely paralyzed, except for his pinky. We're working that back. So we do what he can do. Here's the biggest thing I want you to do, though, Mary. The very first thing on the app is the list. Do that list in its entirety. I'm telling you, that's the reason why we have so many unbelievable transformations. If you do that list, Mary, it'll give you the guidance that you need. To me, it's the yellow brick road. And anyone that you've ever seen that's been successful in that community, they did the list. So that's where I'm going to start and get involved with the community, because it'll really help you. And if I see you there, I'll pop on, give you a heart, and say, keep up the great work, Mary. That'll be me, So I'd love to see you start to work your way towards that. And then I'd love to get back in touch with you like in about 3 or 4 months. So here's your accountability partner, DDP and Steve U, okay? Coming back around saying, Mary, how you doing? And Nadia will get a hold of you and you say, I've been up and I really only go with people who are putting the work in. So that's your incentive. You know that by watching everything that I do. It's I'm going to put the work in. I expect you, wherever that work is, it isn't at my level. It's at your level, wherever you're starting. And that to me is a beautiful thing about our program. And you know that this program gives you hope. And that's what you want to hold on to. And you got that little puppy there with all that unconditional love as well.
He's not little.
Well, that's more exercise.
He was the companion for a 6'6" guy. He is growing, and the vet thinks he will end up about 130 pounds.
I used to have an Akita that was 130 pounds, and he'd put his paws up on my shoulder at 6'4", and I'd open up his head, his mouth, and put my head in his mouth.
It's bigger than my head. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you mainly need to train to walk your dog, so that's probably your main motivation.
Yeah. No, he has been my exercise part. Like he's probably is the reason I'm doing as well as I am now, because he's a Belgian Malinois cross.
Oh, wow.
And he has to be moved every day.
Absolutely.
Or he's a menace. And so, I'm out there at either the dog park at Heart of the Valley or the dog park at Snowfill letting him run, because that's like a requirement of my life now. So,
absolutely.
I do have some movement built in.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm glad we get you on some laughter at the end of this right here, and we want you to keep it up, okay? You were picked. I tell her, if you're on this block here, you got picked by God to be here. So now what are you going to do with this? You've thought enough to put yourself in that group. Now continue moving forward. And 3 or 4 months from now, Nadia will reach out to you, and she will, and find out, and then we'll get you back on here. We'll find out where you are, all right?
Okay.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.